was too loose. Need to tighten, no took her to Hermes. Got her items up, what it fucked up, and the spider home. Free the guy down the road, got a hottie phone. Had my name from the street, not a microphone. Ain't no sleep, she on toot, I took Adderall. Niggas act like they us, but they not at all. Caught the baddest shit that we forgot to call. I put down in my teeth like on power walk. Pretty titties, her whole body sauce off. Hold the back of her head till her jaws locked. I don't care what he do, he a cornball. Extra layers, I'm dressing, I'm stuffed gang. I'm the real one, 2 million on pinky ring. Come through pimping like Pinky without the cane. Niggas thinking they hot, but they Eddie Kane. I been putting on this stuff since my baby frame. Walk around with $1 that's pocket chain. Niggas think that you smart till you knock your brain. I done brought the rover like on the flame. Me and Ski trying to see who the coldest shit. If I see you with bro, I don't know the bitch. Extra stuff every time, extra stuff every time, extra stuff every time when I'm stepping out. Put on stuff every time, put on stuff every time, put on stuff every time when I'm stepping out.
8x8, 36, 0 waste, 3 on 3, my type of date. All this stuff, I might be late. It's all this stuff, 8x8. Stuff, stuff, stuff. Stuff, 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 stuff. Stuff, 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 stuff. Wow, breaking the 9. Inside the spot, you know 3 of them mine. Feel like one oak and they one of a kind. 3 of a kind. Put on my ice and all 3 of them blind. I put grease in my soda, I'm trying to get fried. She rocking that outfit, she trying to get high. Rubbers on rubbers, I never get tired. Bought her that ice and I know she still lying. Brought number 1 on the plane cause she fly. Brought number 2 a new whip, she got dry. Brought number 3 a new Gucci, suck dick. Brought number 4 a new sticker, she 5. Brought number 5, she the 5, number 5, number 5, number 5, number 5, number 5. Yeah, one at a time. Yeah. Stop. Wow.
Today, we're going to talk about college basketball Super Tuesday and the squad ride for a while. This is Behind the Lines. I mean, Chucky Hepburn had Boopie Miller in jail. It was tough to watch. Maybe the worst game I've ever seen. Boopie Miller missing layups left and right. Couldn't cover a parked car. You got Chucky Hepburn jacking up threes. Didn't have a chance because for some reason, I don't know why, but in hockey, a 2-goal lead is actually like losing. It might be worse than losing. You might as well be losing because a 2-goal lead is never safe.
This feels like a game where Ohio State can make this weirdly close, but it's a game where you look at it and you're like, okay, Purdue should dominate at home, and you turn it on because it's a tied game with 3 minutes left and Ohio State's fighting. I think this is going to be a close game when really on paper it shouldn't be at all.
And then I see this quote from the coach, his starting center, Tomislav. He literally said, deathly ill. The kid's sitting on your fucking bench. What are you talking about? He's deathly ill. He looks fine to me. And if he is that sick, why is he sitting next to the rest of your team? Are the neurons in your brain not functioning? What's going on up there in Illinois? What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Tuesday, episode 641 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your 2 hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Start tracking your bets over there on Bookit Sports, the best bet tracking app out there by far on the App Store or Google Play. So if you got an iPhone, you got an Android, doesn't matter. Start tracking your bets over there on Bookit Sports. I promise once you start using it, you're not going to stop. Okay, best UI, UX out there by far for a bet tracking app. Go check out Bookit Sports, okay? Hopefully you didn't see my squad ride locked in on Bookit Sports yesterday, because if you did, you tailed some new shit cake, okay? Kansas State, Jovan, I know we got hoed by the refs, but either way, shit bet. And shit day yesterday.
Yeah, those who watch the game now, but it is what it is. Shit bad.
No, we can't be making excuses. That was a shit bet. Let's move on to the straight bets and look at the sharp report and see how we did, because that was pretty much just as bad. You swept your squares. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It's about the only positive thing from yesterday. And Toby showed up like he always does on the boards. Fading Cooper Flag. Dude had over 10 rebounds. I fucking bet. Fading the Boston Cannons during the day. That was Moose.
Fuck Asher.
Gosh, man, we got to fucking lock in. Luckily today, we do have some believers. We got some sub banks coming in hot. Jovan, this could be the difference. We got Kyle B coming in talking about Pete Crow Armstrong. Stolen bases could be a free Goatwell square. I've seen a lot of talk about Pete Crow.
Yeah,
Seen a lot of talk about Pete Crab this offseason. Dude's fast as ma. That man Cran coming in resubbing. Been a fat minute. Let's dub it. That man Cran could be the difference. Could be the difference. Okay? Good to see you, my man. Here's what we're going to do, chat. We're not going to make excuses about that shit squad rides or these shit squad rides for the last couple months. We're going to fucking dig our heels in today. And we are going to spend, I don't care if it's an hour on the squad ride, but we're finding 2 plays, 3 max that we fall in love with today during the show. And we're putting them off to the sides in the squad ride bucket. And we're selecting the right one today. Plain and simple. Okay, DJ Fitz, time to call in a dog. DJ Fitz, we don't need you yet. Okay, I'll let you know if we do need you. We got Shady Beef coming in. I'm here to tell y'all to lock in, have a day. Let's fucking go, Shady Beef.
There you go.
Attaboy. Appreciate the sub banks. And we do need to lock in. And it's our fault for the squad ride kick. It's not your guys' fault. We got to give you better options. Plain and simple. Okay, I'm done with the excuses. Jovan, it's time to fucking lock in. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's fucking kill it today. Come on. I got a good feeling about today. And we got no excuses with this CBB slate. So, Fitz, apologies for that chirp. I just had to get that one out of the way. You're still my guy, Fitz.
We need Fitz.
You're still number 1 surgeon. Okay? Don't let that one get to you, Goots. Or Fitz, excuse me. Fitz in the chamber. All right. Let's lock in for today, gents. Let's start with the sharp reports. Before we go over some of these plays, and I'll go over my TCU sell job here, W. Jovan, want to go ahead and drop this Bookit questionnaire one more time in the chat. We're also going to start posting this on the socials after we get some of your guys' takes, our OGs. But want to get your guys' opinions on what more content you guys want to see out of the Bookit squads, out of BTL squads, just in general. What more you guys want to see? We got a couple questions for you. If you don't mind, if you get some time today, fill out this questionnaire. Would love to see your guys' opinions, your thoughts. We were actually talking through some of the responses today. So we are looking at this. We would appreciate you guys, if you care, to take some time. Let us know what you want to see more of. Okay? And if the answer is more DJ Fitz sell jobs on Surge Stream, then it's more DJ Fitz sell jobs on Surge Stream. Whatever it is, just let us know. Okay? We'd love to hear it. We got YGF Taylor coming in, dropping a sub bang. Let's fucking go, dude. Yes. 33 months. Jovan, we got more sub banks today than we deserve. Excuse me.
We are.
And that tells me that we still got some believers. We got some OGs in here that know that it's a roller coaster. There's ups and there's downs, and we're about to make a serious come up here for the rest of the week. I'm ready to fucking lock in.
Sure.
And I know you are as well. All right. Let's get into the plays today. We dropped that link, the Google form in the chat if you want to get involved. But let's lock in and find some winners. And Jovan, might not be the first way people think they're finding a winner in the Big 2-5 and CBB, but today I do, and I'm taking your frogs. Grabbing the points against a team that you really like, a team that's really solid, Texas Tech, don't get me wrong. Really good squad, ranked 9th, starting to get some respect. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. But Jovan, I simply can't resist backing your frogs here at home in this nasty spot. I don't know what it is here, but this spread is just looking at me funny, down to 7. From 7.5, 6.5 some places as well. But the Frogs sitting at 14 and 11, thought they'd be getting double-digit points here, but they are home, and we know how much of an advantage that could be here in this spot. But it's not like they've been coming through this season at home much. On the spread, they're 6 and 9, but on the ML, they're 12 and 2. So only 2 losses for the Frogs at home. We know they have a serious home court advantage and have played much better there over the last couple seasons, at least since I've been dialed into the Frogs. I feel like that's where they pull off their upsets. That's where the magic happens, obviously on their home floor. But today they got a chance, Jovan, to turn their season around a little bit here. They've won 4 of their last 5. Don't let the Frogs get hot. They've looked much better of late, and I think they got a chance to keep this game within a couple buckets against the Red Raiders here, who come in a fat, happy, complacent spot. I want to take the Froggies here. Your TCU squad with the points at home.
Yeah. They do statistically have the best home court advantage in the Big 12. They've made ratings about it. The last 3 years.
Is that this year, or is that just recent history? Okay.
This year, they're still, I think, number 2. But in terms of all the teams and the whole history of Big 12 play that are still in the Big 12, they have the best. I don't know what
I
ratings
feel like it's like
go into that.
Blacksburg.
Yeah, it's
the team's not as good, but they always have weird wins at home. I don't know what it is.
And it's also I don't know. It's the weird gym, the shooting splits, everything is drastically different. As it always is on the road. But the gym there's weird. But this game, today happens to be in Fort Worth Krabs, which could be good, could be bad, because you know what I have to say about TCU's biggest Big 12 game of the year. It's always cake. But it's Desmond Bain jersey retirement night. So it is, without a doubt, the biggest game that they have all year with a rival from Texas coming in. So it's a massive, massive deal. And it's also the only ranked team they have coming into Fort Worth, unless something crazy happens for the rest of the season. So, I mean, it's a really big deal, Krabs.
Well, that's really kind of sad. But look, you got an NBA player right now who's active. They're hanging his jersey up in the rafters. I guess it's deserving. He was a bucket back in the day for the Frogs. But that's game of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like when I hear like Malcolm Delaney coming back into town and people are going nuts. It's like, does it really move needle?
Yeah.
I guess it does.
Like,
it does for the fans. It does for the alumni, I guess.
Well, it's also a rivalry
more
game.
Seats.
It's a rivalry game, Krabs.
It's a ranked team. It's 9th team in the country coming into town. The students are going to be there whether there's a jersey retirement or not.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean,
Texas Tech.
The seats, obviously, you haven't been watching TCU basketball as you shouldn't, but the seats have been empty all year, rightfully so, except for 2 games that are on the schedule. The Kansas game that was at home and this one. So it's going to be tight. I mean, all the tickets have been like $10 for every game each year or all year, and can't get in the building for less than $300 tonight.
Wow. It's like that?
Yeah, it's big deal.
And they've already got smacked once this year by Texas Tech. You know, I'm a sucker for backing a team that's got punched in the mouth already once.
Well, that was
now they get a chance to get some revenge.
It was a little deceiving because they didn't get smacked in the mouth that game. It was like all in the last like 5 minutes. That game was like tied, and TCU was winning for a majority of it. So that was a little surprising. Then they ended up getting hooked on the spread by a couple points, I think, at the end. But they played well. It's just I don't know. I have a bad fan feeling about this game, which it could be good for betting purposes.
Yeah, that could be actually the difference.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. We're going to need a big game from Alette, like he's been doing. I like watching that kid play. He's very slow and methodical for a point guard, but ball goes in hoop.
Yeah, he's good.
He's not John Wall. He's not beating you with speed. He's very slow, and I feel like he draws fouls well, and he's a good finisher. I don't know. I'm pretty impressed by this kid this season. I like watching some Alette.
He's awesome.
All right, yeah, he's awesome.
Sure does.
We're going to need a big game out of him tonight, man.
You know where he came from, right?
No.
ODU.
No way he was the ODU stud from last year, Alette. Sure he was.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a break, dudes. He was their best player last season.
Yeah, he's good.
On a scrappy team. Okay. Come on, Vashon Alette. Sure, I knew that name rung a bell. All right, let's swing it around. Jovan, you got a couple straight bets for the peeps. We do have a hype train right now. Want to thank chat. Appreciate your support today, guys. Even after some squad ride cakeage, we appreciate you guys locking in, dropping some subbies today. I promise. Spent some extra time on the fucking slate today. We're ready to dial in and give you guys some winners. Enough of the kick. And we appreciate the subbies. Jovan, I took a peep at some of your plays that you put on the Sharp Report earlier. I'm liking what you're putting down here. Little Lipscomb action.
Yeah, got to get involved with the ASUN rematch. Eastern Kentucky beat Lipscomb at Lipscomb just a couple weeks ago. Lipscomb was pretty decent favorites in that one. They're -9. Lost outright in that game, funny enough, by 9. But there wasn't really like a big edge in that game necessarily. There's not like a Eastern Kentucky shot the lights out. It's not really like they out rebounded them. They out second chance points them. It was just a game where they made more shots than Lipscomb. They played much better. But the thing about Eastern Kentucky, they are a big team that doesn't play big. There's like a couple teams in the Big 12 that kind of share that same notion, same play style. So like you look at all the teams that have destroyed them really since then. Like they've been really good if you just look on the surface. Eastern Kentucky has in the last couple weeks since that game, but they've also been playing a couple weaker teams and a couple very small teams as well when you talk about some of the comparable teams they've played. So I'm not incredibly impressed by what they've done since then, and they've skated by some teams they shouldn't skate by either. So I think Lipscomb is in a much better spot to win on the road here, which has got numbers gotten steamed up a little bit, but went on the road using their size. Nobody's going to guard Ognasevic, and nobody has guarded him. Nobody guarded him in that game that Eastern Kentucky saw him the first time. So I think he's going to absolutely grub. The guards are going to have an easy time getting to the rim, make a couple more shots than they did the first time. So I'm back in on Lipscomb. Pretty important game for them before they start. I don't know. This is a week where they play 2 pretty big conference games, and this is the first one on the road before they come back home.
W. Brian C. in the chat. Appreciate you getting involved. W. Hype Train as well, guys. We appreciate all you getting involved in the chat, dropping subbies, or just being here today. Lipscomb and Eastern Kentucky, low-key 2 of the hottest mid-majors in college basketball, Jovan. Both teams have won 8 of their last 10 games. Yeah, they're playing some good basketball. So this game's not as nasty as the 2 names for the schools indicates, right? You're getting some pretty good basketball here, and that total moving up a couple points as well. I don't mind that over either. And that might go hand in hand a little bit with Lipscomb looking to break out here offensively. They've been red hot. Wouldn't be shocked if they get another win. Thought that was some serious respect with them laying 4.5 there on the road against an Eastern Kentucky team that, like you said, already played them really well once. We'll see if they can do it again. That's some serious respect for Lipscomb there on the road. All right. Dubs. Let's swing it back around here. W Goots. Got another straight bet for you guys. I believe in CBB. Yep, it's all CBB today. Back in Trent Squad, Minnesota. Should be a good look. I've been really good about not fading UCLA after Mick Cronin exploded on his team like a freak. And it ended up kind of working. I mean, this team's been a menace ever since that moment. I think they dropped 2 games right after that. But since then, I don't even know if they've lost more than 1 game, that Illinois game the other night. They've been on fire overall since Coach Mick laid into his squad. But I think tonight poses an interesting challenge right down low, especially if Dawson Garcia decides to maybe play center and play the position that he should be at times, not just hang around the three-point arc and be lazy. But if he tries to actually play hard and play like he should in this contest, I think he has a chance to maybe shine a little bit in the paint and give Minnesota a chance, looking like the sharp side here on the roads. I've been talking about these road dogs all season in college basketball, especially in conference play. I've never seen road dogs covering and winning outright at a rate like they've been covering this season. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's NIL changing the landscape of the game. I don't know. Maybe home court advantages just don't matter as much with these kids all transferring every year and playing in all these different arenas. I don't know what it is, but these road dogs have been wagons, and I got my eyes on another one in this spot, Jovan, with Minnesota down from 13.5 to 11.5. I want to back Mike Mitchell, Minnesota, Dawson Garcia, and co. to potentially pull off an upset here against UCLA, a team that's been playing really good ball for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They haven't not covered a game in almost a month. Well, I think this is a game that Minnesota can make weird. We know they play up and down to their competition damn near every game, and I think this could be one where they play up to competition on the road. Against UCLA, on paper, nobody thinks they have a chance. But that spread is getting close to single digits at this point, Jovan.
Yeah.
Weird.
A little weird, for sure.
Loving the Gophers. Loving the Gophers. Okay. Let's swing it around to Jovan's second straight bet here. He's got an under in maybe game of the day today. This will be a popular one.
Should be a good game. I'm going to definitely lean BYU's way. But the thing, like, I want to fade Kansas's offense, of course, because BYU is going to make them shoot and make it do it very often, which is why BYU has been so good against some of the teams that really struggle to do that consistently in the Big 12. That's been their crutch. They kind of play not completely no middle, like a Texas Tech style of ball, but it's definitely similar schematically. So they're going to make guys like Zeke Mayo and everybody off the bench, like the Rylan Griffins and even like the DeJuan Harris, when he's going to have to shoot, they're going to make them shoot. So if Kansas is going to do that for the entirety of the game, I do think they'll have a little bit of trouble getting it into the paint, especially like getting it to the free throw line area where they're like, sometimes it's Dickinson, sometimes it's KJ Adams. They like to let them facilitate kind of from their end, even if they're refeeding the post. I think they'll have trouble doing that and getting the ball to the rim consistently. So if you're telling me you got a game where Kansas is going to be forced to take a lot of jump shots, a lot of threes, and get the whole bench involved to do so, not going to feel all that confident in them to score points in this game. But on the other side, their defense is still elite, no matter how bad they've been or how bad the team has been in these last couple of weeks where they've really started sliding. The defense has not been the problem at all. They're one of the best defensive units, certainly in the Big 12, but also in the country. They're playing a team that I think their best bet is to run a little small, BYU's and try to outpace, Dickinson, KJ Adams, and those guys. And they're pretty small as is and don't really like to get to the rim all that much. So on the other side, it's another one where like BYU is going to want to shoot plenty. And this is one of the best teams they're going to face in the Big 12. The best, I would say, not named Houston at defending just that. So I think it's going to be a slugfest for a little bit. And I think Kansas, not only like do they want to lean into their defense a little more, but I don't think offensively they have really any answers for what BYU's defense is going to throw at them unless they grind it out and get it into Dickinson and feed the post and work like that.
Kansas defense is good.
Very.
They struggle to score as well at times. I don't know. This Kansas team just doesn't look special.
No.
And maybe that's easy to say when you got Hunter Dickinson as their star, who really just doesn't jump off the page, right, with athleticism. But this team is defensively very talented.
Not his fault, to be honest. He's not like. I mean,
you can't expect a 7-foot behemoth to create offense on his own.
Yeah,
right?
It's not. It's just also like all the transfers and shooters they have suck. Like they pay like one of the most under talked about things, like all the talks about Coleman Hawkins and how much he gets paid. He doesn't do anything. They paid AJ Storr the same. And he has done nothing. He's been terrible. Rylan Griffin has been awful. Zeke Mayo is the only one that's done anything on the shooting side of things consistently for that team. Like it's him. Badunga's been good. Other than that, nothing. Yeah, exactly. He's the one that's not coming from a power team.
Yeah, Kansas, man, they used to be a wagon. I remember when I drank a beer for every shot Christian Brown made in the national championship, and I drank a lot of beers that night. Actually saw that video the other night. I got pretty drunk that game.
Yeah, where's Remy Martin when you need him?
Oh,
Yeah.
A legend.
Go to
Another
legend.
We got Joker Hunter in the chat. It's his 25th birthday. Can we clap it up for our guy, Joker Hunter? Want to shout out from the BTL squad. Happy birthday, my man. The big 2-5. In the big 2-5. It's great vibes. Love that. Hope you're having a great night. Hope you have a great birthday, and I hope you cash all of your bets tonight. All right? That man Cran said, I hate Remy Martin. That man locked my ass down. That man Cran, would you play in the league? Jeez. And happy birthday, Jovan. Sure. Okay. Hot Sauce Dylan coming in. Hot Sauce Dylan coming in, resubbing. Sure. I mean, it was just your birthday, so it'll be a belated happy birthday, right? Hot Sauce Dylan, we appreciate you coming in hot with the sub bang. 9 months. W's. All right. Goots, let's swing it back around. I got one more straight bet for the peeps, I believe, here. Yes, Bowling Green. Backing Bowling Green and fading Kent State. This one feels good. Not going to lie to you guys. This one feels good.
They're playing Kent State.
Hell yeah, they're playing Kent State. Lock in.
Oh, my.
You got Bowling Green, who, look, he's been playing some pretty good ball of late. They've won 3 of their last 5 games. They have one of the most underrated coaches in the country, in my opinion. They're playing a Kent State team that has just stolen coins like no other this season. A Kent State team that can't buy a cover, although somehow they're still 11-10-2 against the spread this season. Jovan, riddle me that with Kent State, because I certainly haven't been on those 11 wins.
No.
I think I've been on all 10 losses. That's incredible. But Bowling Green, a team that whose record does not jump off the page, Jovan, but once they've gotten to conference play, they've looked a little bit better of late. Bowling Green, don't let them get hot. It might be too late. The Falcons, right? Falcons have been showing up of late. They've won and covered 3 of their last 4 games against Buffalo, Coastal Carolina, and NIU. Some pretty good W's there. And at home again tonight with that spread down from 6.5 to 5.5. And with Kent State winners of their last 4 in a row. Guys, we've seen this Kent State team play too many times and we already shouldn't. Right? Unfortunately, we put you guys in spots where you have to watch them play because they've been in the squad ride or they've been on the Sharp Report. And that's on us because this team is absolute quail meat. And today we finally get to fade them in a sharp spot on the road. You won't see me fading Kent State at home, although we should have been doing that all season, Jovan. But on the road, after 4 straight wins, I'll back Bowling Green here at 10-15 squad catching steam. I fucking bet. Kent State's won 4 in a row. Looks like they're starting to get back on track. This could be when we fade as they take a trip to face off against the Falcons on the road.
Yeah, I'll be tipping cap to that one, Krabs. Okay. I'll be tipping cap, man. I can't with Kent State. I'm done with Kent State, especially because you want to talk about those 11 wins, Krabs. 7 of those are on the road for whatever reason. It's unbelievable. It's a bad vibe.
Kent State is 6-3 on the road on the ML this season, from what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Either way, 6 or 7.
7 what?
7-2-1.
7-2-1 ATS. Yeah, 7 of their 11 ATS wins are on the road.
I'm sure they'll cover again on the road here in this spot, right?
I'm hoping not, for your sake.
Magic Lettuce 6'9" coming in. W name, W sub bank. 33 months. Wow. W Magic Lettuce. We appreciate you coming in hot. We got Kyle B in the chat. I live in Bowling Green, my grad school. We are winning outright. Okay.
Horrendous sign.
Okay.
W Kyle, horrendous sign.
Yeah. Yeah. We got that boy Co coming in, resubbing as well for 7 months. W's, gents. We got a lot of sub banks coming in today. Extra subbies on a Tuesday afternoon. And GG Bowling Green, ZDZ. Okay. Damn, I was not expecting Jovan to hate that play's guts.
I don't hate the play.
Here we are.
Just want to make clear.
Okay. You had to get it out there. That's okay. All right. Swing it back around. You got one more play for the peeps, and you're taking Buzz Williams and the Aggies. Sure.
Yeah. So you had one on there I probably couldn't get with. This is probably the one you necessarily can't get with. Texas A&M's been absolutely rolling. Miss State's been kind of zigzagging when they're in sharp spots. And welcome to another one today where they're -2.5 at home against one of the hottest teams in college basketball in Texas A&M. But I just don't think Mississippi State, as far as like the ranked team in the SEC, are on par with the rest of the ones in the league, especially because they should be this bigger physical team. They're not, the team that we've seen from the last couple of years where they have, two significant big presences. But they're physical enough to hang with a lot of these teams. The problem is the wing options outside of or I guess the perimeter options, not necessarily wings, outside of Josh Hubbard, just the consistency hasn't been there. And especially when you're going up against the Texas A&M team that not only are they good and physical defensively, but you're going to have Zurich Phelps, who's one of the best perimeter defenders in the SEC. I don't know if he's going to be on Josh Hubbard the whole game, but he's going to be on him in some critical spots, and he'll be spotted, taking a pretty tough assignment wherever. So you're going to have to manufacture offense, and Texas A&M is kind of going to dictate where exactly that goes. So I like Texas A&M's defense. I do think, yes, it's a, somewhat sharp-looking spot for Miss State to be -2.5 at home, but we've seen the story time and time again, and they've struggled specifically against teams that can do anything on the boards. And for as small as Texas A&M is compared to some of the better rebounding teams like a Florida and the SEC, they're better in rebounding by all of the numbers. I don't know what they do. I don't know what buzz crafts, but it works, and it's kind of incredible that it does. So I don't think Miss State is going to be able to generate the same level of second chance points as they have in a lot of their wins, because it's a big discrepancy between wins and losses for them. So they're going to need that today, and I don't think they get it.
There's one thing Buzz can do. It's maximizing the most out of his small bigs. I don't know how he does it. I've never seen the guy have a real true big, I feel like, in my lifetime. But he always milks the most he possibly can out of his bigs. I don't know how he does it. But the Aggies always show up on the boards, man. They are a hard-nosed, hard-fought squad. They're physical. They're gritty. And they're a team that I typically do want my coins on. Obviously, I got some beef with Buzz, right? But I should also be thankful, because without him, the Hokies probably wouldn't be where they are right now. And that's a mid-ACC team. But that guy can coach his ass off. And I would not want to put my coins on Mississippi State with the amount of slips I've seen on the feed today. That's for sure. Okay? All right. W's chats. I don't know what I said to pause, but it's probably on me. Let's move on to some prize pick squares. All right. Jovan, unfortunately, no squares from you today, but you get a pass. I mean, you can't even see any squares that are up.
Yeah.
Okay. Milks the bigs.
Squares.
Sure, Pega. Yep. That would result in a pause. Okay. Let's go to some prize pick squares. You mentioned Josh Hubbard, Jovan. I like points in this game. I know maybe I can't get behind a Mississippi State slip, but I like the over in this game, I'll be honest with you. And I like Josh Hubbard, spark plug, to do his thing in this game after a couple performances. I do think he shows up and shows out, so maybe this will be my way to back Mississippi State here in this game. But more than 16.5 points for Josh Hubbard, future NBA player, a microwave, the best offensive player on this team by far. I think he keeps them in this game against the Aggies, and I think this number is just simply too low. And after a couple mid games, I want to back him and buy low relatively on Josh Hubbard, who we know is going to go out there and jack shots. For better or for worse.
I mean, he's probably going to have to take a shot every time. I guess, got to hope Kugel is on the floor with him as much as possible, because really anytime Phelps will be on Kugel, and I don't think you're going to score much in the post, Josh Hubbard's going to be forced to take a shot pretty much every time. Not that he doesn't jack shots, period, but.
Yeah. All right. I'm liking that. We got Flatwoods fella coming in, giving out a subbie to Billy the Kids. Sure. All right. Krabs, let's take a look at the slip I sent you on Twitter. Okay. W. Billy the Kid getting subbed up, my man. Such a W. And then one more square. Jovan, I don't know what your thoughts are on this Illinois game. We could talk about it. I like Illinois getting some points here on the road. It was an honorable mention for the Sharp Report. Didn't get there, but potentially fading Wisconsin here in a game where I do like points with that total up already very high. Opened up at 160. Now it's up to 161.5. I like points. I like the over. I like Illinois, and I like Kasparis Yakonis, or however the fuck you say his last name. This kid's an absolute stud. By far the best offensive player on this team, in my opinion, Jovan. He's averaging about 16.5 points per game this season, up for 18 points tonight in a game where I'm liking points, in a game where I think Illinois can win this game outright. Who on this Wisconsin team can match up with Kasparis? I don't know. This kid, if you haven't watched him play yet, stud, foreign kids. I don't know, he's like a 3 or a 4, but he can dribble a little bit too. Kasparis, I think the best offensive piece on this Illinois team, and I think he shows up, and seeing his number, his square, 2.5 points higher than his season average, kind of looking at me funny in a game where I'm liking points. I'll take Illinois on the spreads, and I'll take Kasparis more than 18 points on Prize Picks.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I don't know where my head's at in the game because it does seem like nobody's really having the balls to take Wisconsin. But I lean probably with you. I definitely am down for some KJ action.
Krabs, I nuked Benfica and Atlanta. Tap in. We got some pitch cake today.
Yeah, Champions League.
Illinois is 9-0 against Wisco in the last 3 years. Wow. That's wild. Is that the kid that Krabs was bitching about sitting on the sidelines, definitely ill? No. That's actually their center. Yeah, that's a Visic, who is back from mono, back in the paint. Not taking him today. I'm going to take Kasparis, who's a future NBA player. If you haven't watched this kid play, he's kind of a stud. And yeah, Delgado, you're not wrong. I know you're a Wisco guy, Delgado. I remember you saying that. But, yeah, nobody wants to respect Wisconsin today.
I don't think anybody respects anybody in the Big Ten, to be fair. It's not just Wisconsin. It's really everybody because they're all pretty fraudulent.
Yeah. I mean, Wisconsin just beat Purdue. I am legally obligated to fade them after that game. I have to fade them.
Yeah.
I don't have a choice. They just beat Iowa on the road and Purdue on the road in their last 2 games. You're telling me I'm not fading that team? Have to.
Fair.
Has to be done. All right. Pega. Yeah, I need to hit up Ethan Pega, but also let me know what's good with that soccer play you were talking about earlier and how much time we have. Okay? All right, let's move. Let's groove. Jovan, talk about my Prize Pick squares. We can lock in and look at some squares as well on the board up there for today, but I think I'd rather go over the slate and talk through some of these games in CBB for today if you're down.
Sure.
We got Flatwoods Fellow giving out another subby today. Let's go, Flatwoods. Atta boy. Giving out Z Shrenick 65 a subby. Let's go, Z Shrenick. You just got blessed up by Flatwoods Fella. An absolute goat in the chat. We appreciate you, my man. Sure. All right. Jovan, why don't we get started with the game of the day? Hokies, Boston College.
Yeah. That could be, outside of what, UVA, Miami, maybe worst game of the year.
Nah, come on. These teams both had double-digit wins. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, Boston College is awful though. You can give me the Hokie. You can give me the Hokie talk because they've been playing somewhat decent recently, but Boston College is terrible.
Well, what if I told you Boston College is probably winning this game?
Yeah, they probably are. I don't want to fade VT after losing their Booper Bowl against UVA, but definitely wouldn't be taking them on the road.
Yes, we will go over some squares. Loic, don't you worry. Appreciate your patience. We still got almost an hour. We will talk through Prize Pick squares. We will look at the CBB squares and try to get Javon's thoughts as well. I know he can't see the CBB board right now, but we will pull that up after we go over these straight bets. Okay? We get the Pega breakdown right now. Krabs, need your opinion on Bellarmine. Here's my opinion, Moose. Fade him every single game, and that's all you can do. That's all you can do. Pega, it's in 2 hours at Atlanta. Is losing 2-1, playing at home now to qualify. Benfica's playing at home, also to qualify. Great odds for the ML. I took out Atlanta -1, both together plus 350, but single bets are about -110, -120. Jovan, thoughts on those 2 angles in Atlanta and Benfica?
I don't hate those.
Okay.
I don't have any solid Champs League angles today, but I'm down to get involved with those.
Okay. All right. Krabs, if it makes it easier, it's pronounced Shrek, like the movie. Hell yeah, that makes it easier. That's one of my favorite movies. You kidding me?
Such a Krabs movie. Go-to movie.
It's a classic.
No.
Kidding me? Who doesn't like Shrek? Legitimately,
No,
I've never met somebody who didn't like that movie, Shrek. How can you not? All right, let's lock back in here. We have not deserved any Shrek talk today. That's for sure. And yeah, Shrek 2 is slept on. We'll leave it at that. Okay? Boston College on the ML. I did want to get that out of the way. I do think Hokies laying 1.5 on the roads. They probably should be favorites with how much better they've looked over the last 2 weeks. Boston College hasn't won a game in about a week and a half. I got a feeling we're probably going with an L on the road here in this spot up in Boston. I think it's probably BC at plus check is what I think in that game.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we can lock in and talk about some real matchups here, folks. Villanova, UConn. We can start at the beginning here, Goots. I know you were thrown off there with a little VT talk. 9 p.m. That's some late night ACC action there, folks. ACC after dark, folks.
Getting Chestnut Hill some primetime TV spots.
Unbelievable. They don't deserve a primetime spot. Neither of those
No.
teams do. Villanova, UConn here, folks. Here's two teams that might deserve some spotlight. 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Nothing like some early college basketball to get the afternoon started. My goodness. You got UConn, who's been struggling the last couple games. I mean, imagine acting like Coach Hurley and then losing to Seton Hall. Can we let that marinate for a sec? Imagine screaming at fans on your way out, tapping your rings, hyping the crowd up, saying your hymn, screaming it from the mountaintops, and then you lose a game to Seton Hall. Goodness gracious. That should be illegal. You should be thrown in jail for that shit. You can't lose to Seton Hall, especially after you talk all that shit. With that being said, UConn laying this number, Jovan, against a team they've already lost to once this season. Can't forget about it. Villanova's already beaten them once. You think they're beating them again? No. But the real question is UConn covering this big old number? If this was any other year, probably be inclined to bet the Huskies. But, Jovan, these -8.5s, they're simply not paying out in the Big 2-5.
It's the worst bet you can make on any given day, which is why I'm staying away. I still lean UConn's way, but, I mean, these bets have just not been hitting. And you add to the fact that, you know what game UConn's got to look ahead to, Krabs? St. John's rematch this weekend on the road.
Wow.
So, or I guess, I don't even know if that game's technically on the road, but aside from the points, it's kind of a tough spot where everything that has been pointing to all of these big favorites bouncing back is pointing to one of them once again.
Well, shit. I want to play UConn, but I'm not getting there.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that game, chat? Putz and Adam likes Liam McNeely. Isn't he coming off a legacy performance, or is he mixed in a game in between there?
Was that not last game?
No, he had a shit game against Seton Hall in between there. So
I was against Creighton when he had 40.
Could be Liam McNeely bounce back season. More than 15.5 points. Like Lightning's on Nova. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. Can UConn afford to look ahead? No. But
no team can afford to look ahead. There's not really any team that can.
Not this year. There's not a single team. I don't know how people are betting Nova in this spot, a team that's already beaten them, now getting 8.5 points, but I can understand the hesitancies of staying off of the Huskies. That's for sure. I would lean UConn now.
Regardless of what you're betting on this side, you're betting on what team is like truly fraudulent in their current state. Because like if you're taking UConn, it's UConn's going to be good. They're bouncing back. Villanova's season is over. Their little Mickey Mouse run with that one win against St. John's wasn't indicative of who they are. And if you're on Nova, it's the other side. I mean, it's probably your early team is not good, and they're not going to be. It's pretty much your stance.
Yeah, I can't get to the counter. I think both teams are kind of fraudulent this year. I think Villanova is actually a fraud, and I think UConn, I think they have a chance to turn it around, but I'd say right now they're on fraud watch too. Maybe it's at under. A total sneakily dropping 3 points from the 140.5 opener down to 137.5 some places.
I'd be shocked if one with those two teams went up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Nobody crossed 70 in the first game. UConn certainly didn't against Seton Hall in the first game either, or in the last game either. Villanova's offense looked terrible.
Okay. Adam, we'll talk about Trey Kaufman-Renn and Purdue here in a moment. Let's look at Jacksonville and FGCUs. Not going to spend too much time on this one, but Florida Gulf Coast getting some line respect here against Jacksonville. Probably because they just beat them a couple weeks ago. So they're going to be favorites in this game, but they're up to -4 some places. I don't know. I thought that was some respect. I certainly would not be back in Jacksonville there on the road to get their lick back.
You know what's been paying the ASUN lately? Not that I've been taking them all. I've just been kind of sit back and noticing. Whenever any of these like super slow teams, which Jacksonville qualifies for, plays one of the faster teams, like a North Florida, like Eastern Kentucky, like a Northern Alabama, and the game has a ton of points, the next game is quite usually a slugfest.
So you're eyeing that under 140 and a
hit
half.
that under.
Both teams coming off and over in their last game.
Yeah, and that first matchup soared over by 20 plus points too. Expecting the total to open like a couple points higher. I was expecting maybe a little more.
Yeah, I could get down with that under 140 and a half. Jacksonville FGCU. After we saw the first matchup soar over by 20 points, total in this one didn't open up much higher, and it's not moving. Okay. I'll give you guys the Bellarmine report real quick. This one won't take long. Yeah. Although Bellarmine looks like the sharpest play on the board. Remember, guys, you can't bet on him because it's a trap every single time. Once again, Bellarmine, I don't know what's going on or how they're doing it, but they are 8-17 against the spread every year. Their ATS is like this every single season. I don't know. Maybe the odds makers went to the rival school and they're just clowning these alumni. I don't know. But this team is the worst team against the spreads I've ever seen in my entire life, I think, in any sport. Bellarmine. More like Bellarmeat. And DJ Fitz is in chat saying, today might be the day, though. DJ Fitz, if that's one of your 10 plays today, go ahead and scratch it off and move on. Okay, you got plenty of other options to go with. Okay, no need to get Bellarmeat involved. Guys, do not bet them. When they look the sharpest.
They just played like a bunch of the top half teams, I guess, at least in the conference, and covered a bunch of games in a row. Then they go and lose to West Georgia.
Worst team in college basketball. Yep.
Yeah. Not named.
It's incredible.
Miss Valley State, of course.
Yeah, one of the worst teams. They cover against Queens. They cover against Jacksonville. They cover against North Florida. They cover against Lipscomb on the road. 3 of those games are on the road. And then they lose to fucking West Georgia, a team that half the people in chat probably don't even know is a school. Like, honestly. Honestly, it's crazy. Fitz, bro, no chance you're putting your hard-earned coins on Bellarmine. Okay?
Might be free.
Sorry, Krabs. Let me introduce you to Sam Houston State, literally the worst against the spread. Yeah, but they did respect coins the last time we took them, I will say.
Yeah.
They did. They did. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Enough talking about Bellarmine. Another spot that, intrigued me here for a second, Jovan, but I'm probably going to stay off because fading this team has just been a death wish this season. Fading Miami of Ohio, who's just been a pleasant surprise in the MAC this year. I mean, nobody expected them to be 19-6. They were projected to be one of the worst teams in the conference, and now they're hovering around first place. Well, Jovan, they're playing an Eastern Michigan team that I believe has been targeted in some of these investigative betting scandals. They were one of those mid-majors that was named in that article, and we're getting kind of looked at and investigated after some sketchy play to start out this season. So we've seen those teams kind of turn it on of late, right after those reports came out. I mean, we've seen Eastern Michigan, they've covered 3 straight games in a row. Maybe they cover again here, and maybe they're starting to turn it on. Maybe we're getting some effort, and maybe they're not rigging games anymore after they got caught. Pretty much is what I'm trying to say here. Miami of Ohio sitting at 19-6. They should be laying 10 points against the sub-500 Eastern Michigan team. I understand that this is the mid-majors. I understand that they're on the road, but looking at how these two teams have matched up this season, I mean, it's night and day. Spread should be double digits, not 4.5.
Yeah,
it's got to be Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, I don't have any problem just riding the wagons of all the teams that get caught in scandals because they turn into the greatest teams of all time, which I'm sure is the utmost coincidence.
Krabs, check Eastern Michigan, Miami of Ohio under, soared over when they played before, and now the total is set at the same line.
Oh, yeah, I saw a bunch of tweets about that on the feed. Could be under. I mean, that would probably be decently good for Eastern Michigan if they can keep it somewhat low scoring.
Yeah. They've already lost to Miami of Ohio once this year. Okay. Yeah, I might end up on that. Eastern Michigan or that under. Maybe it's Miami of Ohio team total under. That could be the nastiest way to get involved in that game. Okay. All right, let's keep moving here. I want to make sure we have time to cover all these games, all these ball sack states, and these mid-majors. NIU and Akron. God, Akron is really good this year, man, and NIU is atrocious. These are two teams moving in the wrong directions or opposite directions. It's got to be NIU at the points, if anything, but I'm not getting there.
Yeah, leave that.
19.5 against red hot Akron, probably the best team in their conference.
Yeah, they did. I believe played him pretty well a couple weeks ago, though. Yeah, it's only a 10-point game.
Damn.
So kind of fat, I would say, even coming back home. No adjustment whatsoever.
Yeah, the Zips haven't covered their last two against Central Mich and Western Mich. They did win both those games, but they're on a win streak, not a covering streak. NIU coming off a cover in their last game as well. They played pretty good against Ball State. Put up an 83 Berg. Competitive. Okay. I don't know. You couldn't pay me to lock in an Akron bet in the spot with how good they played and how bad NIU's been, but I understand thinking that spread's fat after they kept it close in that first matchup. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I would not be locking in that bet. You're on Lipscomb on the roads against Eastern Kentucky. Sure.
Yeah.
Give me Bowling Green plus 5.5. Now I'm seeing on the spread. W's. Any thoughts on Ball State and Toledo, Jovan?
Not a single thought in my head, Krabs.
Okay. What about Syracuse and Pitt?
I mean, you know my one thought. Eddie Lampkin, horrendous basketball player against any team that's worth a shit. But I will say it's big. Pitt's another one of these teams that they're big, but they're not big. They have size as far as height goes, but they don't play nearly as big as they should. They don't know how to be physical. They don't know how to defend at the rim. So I think Eddie had a pretty decent game. I can double check a couple weeks ago when they played him the first time, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did it again. Yeah, that was the game that he had 1 million boards. So this is the one time where I would say I wouldn't fully trust him to be horrendous in this game, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't want to fade him.
Have you been seeing what Eddie Lampkin's been doing?
Yeah, because he's been playing the soft teams.
He's got 50 points in his last 2 games. So I don't care who he's playing against.
Oh, yeah.
Impressive.
Good.
That was not something I expected to see when I clicked on his chart. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's been hooping. I mean, yeah, UNC sucks. Miami sucks. Yeah, I don't know what to make about this game, to be honest with you. I probably would lean Pitt, laying a big old number, but they have not respected coins, man, this season. And I feel like they're one of those teams that does the opposite of what they're supposed to do in sharp spots. It's a big number, but Syracuse doesn't deserve any respect on the spread with how bad they've been. So I'd probably lean Pitt, but nothing there I'm going to play. Any thoughts on Western Michigan, Buffalo?
No.
Purdue, Michigan State. It's a pretty darn good game.
It's a pretty good game, yeah.
You got Purdue coming in off of back-to-back losses. It's probably been a while since Purdue's lost 2 games in a row. No chance they lose 3 in a row, right?
I think there's a chance, Krabs.
Yeah, there might be. Sparty, who looked really good on the road against Illinois. Am I sprinting to back them after that upset on the roads? No. But they've showed some serious heart, and now they're back home. I think it's probably fading this Purdue team that looks like a fraud to me. Now, will you see me betting it and taking Spartans after that upset went outright? No. I'll just lean that way, but I think Purdue just stinks. I think Lawyer's bad. And I think, to be honest with you, Braden Smith, he might win Player of the Year, but you eliminate him from a game, they got no fucking chance. He's the only guy keeping him in games.
Funny you say that, too, because this is a nightmare matchup for anybody who doesn't want that to happen, because all Michigan State does, which they're big, they have great defense, of course, but they will blitz the hell out of you off of ball screens, which means not that Braden Smith's going to be completely eliminated, but he's going to be forced to pass a lot more. And not that he's not a willing passer, because he absolutely is. He's a great playmaker, but he is not going to be able to get to the rim and make his own shots or create his own shots as much in this game. And it's going to have to be a lot of TKR. It's going to have to be a lot of Lawyer. It's going to have to be a lot of pretty much everyone else, because schematically that's what they want to do. So, I mean, I can't stand Michigan State because as much as I respect their defense, I don't think they're very good, but I'll be on them today.
Okay. Damn. I'm looking at that Trey Kaufman rent square as well. that they were talking about in chat. He's coming up at 30 piece against Wisconsin. I mean, maybe the green is square up there on Prize Picks today. His point square.
I probably wouldn't fade that Krabs.
Okay. Lawyer might be the biggest flopper in college. Yeah, he's annoying to watch. It runs in the family. His family's been stealing coins for the last half a decade, man. Enough is enough. Yeah. Enough is enough. All right. Let's take a peep at some of these other CBB games today. You are on the Aggies on the spread, sure. We got a couple other good mid-majors that we haven't gotten to yet, though, here. I want to talk about North Florida and Stetson. Both teams have been struggling of late. Stetson's actually bad. North Florida a little inconsistent. They've dropped 3 straight games in a row. Wouldn't be surprised if they come through and splooge here in this spot against Stetson. That total's moving up kind of high. I think that benefits North Florida now.
I mean, it could benefit whoever, I guess. North Florida's always plays those games. That game they just played a couple weeks ago had 200 points in it. So, I mean, it makes sense. Both teams scored triple digits. But I'm so out on fading Stetson. Can't do it. Simply can't do it. They turn to the Warriors anytime I fade them. So I will not be doing it as much as I want to with North Florida.
All right. Both teams have been pretty shitty against the spread, but I'm not really inclined to get involved in that game. Stetson probably should be getting more points than that at home, considering they're on a fat losing streak. But I'm good on that one. Let's talk about Sister Jean and Davidson. Sister Jean hitting the road, facing off against the Davidson Wildcat team that's not been great this season. They've dropped 3 of their last 5 games. On the other hand, Loyola Chicago comes in off of back-to-back dubs. Haven't played yet this season. Sister Jean's beaten them the last 2 times they played, though. Davidson, not really a coin respecter in sharp spots this season, but they have been in recent years. Do we think it's weird seeing them as favorites against Loyola Chicago and Sister Jean, or do you think at home, similar records, although they're not playing as well of late, they get a little bit of credit there, and maybe they should be favorites? I thought it was a little weird. But I would have thought it was weirder if Loyola Chicago was a favorite in this game.
Yeah. So, I don't think it's necessarily all that weird, but I do still like them, like Davidson in the spot. I mean, they've gotten torn apart by any decent scorer with size, any decent big. Like Robbie Avila has been dog meat for a majority of the year, but his best game, I believe, of the season came against Loyola Chicago. You can say that for a lot of the guys in the A10 too. So, I mean, I don't know who's guarding Reed. I don't know who's guarding really anybody that wants to get to the rim for Davidson today. So, I mean, I like them. I don't know if I'll be on them, but I could get with that. Your favorite team out there.
Okay. Any thoughts on Oklahoma, Florida? I'm sure you have some.
Definitely have some. I mean, it's everything in the world, I think, points to it being Oklahoma in this game. It's just, I don't really know how to value Florida right now because they have no Alexis, no Condon, but Handlooked back. He came back in the South Carolina game. So I don't really know how that changes any of their scheme. I was watching them for a little bit against South Carolina, and it wasn't exactly the same. They weren't trying to run off teams as hard from the 3-point line, and you're playing an Oklahoma team that really can't shoot all that well. So who knows if they're even going to do that again in this game. But I think Oklahoma can stay in it. I don't really feel all that confident in pushing the button, but at some point in this little slow stretch of games where Florida's going to be massive favorites for like 2 weeks now before they play a big game, they're going to get a little scared. This might be it.
Do you think Fears could be a good look today? Total opened up pretty high.
I mean, realistically, if you're Oklahoma, I don't think defensively they're going to have much to stop Florida, so they're going to have to score with them. And if the game's even somewhat close, it's probably got to be because Fears has a day. He's pretty much their only chance to keep it close.
He's up for 14 points. He averages more than 15 a game this season. That's a little weird.
I mean, yeah, they're playing one of the best defenses in the country, so you're probably going to get taxed.
Okay. Bunch of Oklahoma point squares look weird. Z Shrek is talking about. Let's take a look at some of those, though. Oklahoma squares look weird, huh? Bryson Godine has a pretty high point square. Jalen Moore's got a pretty high point square. Yeah, looking at some of his teammates, I don't know if I want to be back in Jeremiah Fears. I'd probably rather go Jalen Moore. Looking at his weird point square, but Jeremiah Fears, absolute stud, freshman for this team. Dude's a microwave. He might have 0 points. He might have 30. Kind of similar to Burton, I feel like.
Yeah, fair. I can see that.
Right? He's a little bigger. Is he really 6'4"?
Fierce?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not a small guard.
Oklahoma's the worst team I've ever watched. Worse than Kent State, man. Okay. How is Porter Moser not fired?
No, they are really bad. Really bad.
They've dropped 4 straight games. I certainly lean Oklahoma, but I don't know if I'm getting to the counter there.
Yeah.
Florida's got some injuries as well, like you're saying, so not in a rush.
Yeah.
Krabs Jovan, some college baseball plays. I will direct you to my associate, Jovan, for that question, Real Nicky Gambles.
Definitely have, some small plays up the sleeve. We're still in the stage where, I like to see every pitcher at least once, the entire rotation. So this is the midweek game for a lot of these teams where you're finally getting through that for the last game. So we'll see. There's some games on the slate there that intrigue me. We can get there.
Okay. What about Queens today? Let's circle back to CBB. Any thoughts on the beloved Queens coming off of 2 losses in their last 3? Facing off against a Central Arkansas team that couldn't buy a win, then they just beat North Florida outright in their last game. You got Queens at home laying a big old number in the spot.
Central Arkansas is just a frustrating team, Krabs. They can score 80 and be tricky, or they can do what they did, a little over a week ago against Central Arkansas and score 40, or against Queens, score 47 points and be ghost. It's like, I don't know what to think of Central Arkansas. They're a weird team. I think Queens is secretly kind of moose shit too, Krabs.
Hey, they're 16-11. They're hanging around.
Yeah, it's just that
nothing to write home about. But
anytime they play, as of late, a team that's anywhere near comp for them, they're folding.
Yeah.
Like their last couple wins are against Central Arkansas, Bellarmine, and West Georgia, and then the 2 games slipped in there in between against actual decent teams, they lose.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget this team was playing Goots College last year in D2 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not.
They've done better than most people would have expected getting the call up to D1 overall.
Yeah, I'm not saying like relative to expectations. I just think they're maybe a little overvalued, maybe a little overrated at this point.
Whatever happened to the stud on Queens from last year, and by the way, Jovan, you're not wrong. Okay, I think they are a little bit overrated this year after they had an absolute stud. I'm blanking on his first name, but his last name I believe was Dye. Really good point guards. Kenny Dye. Really good point guard for Queens last year. I'm assuming he's playing overseas. I'm sure Google could probably tell us. Yeah, he was a beast. And yet Queens, they're a fun team to watch still, but they were a little bit better last year. They lost a couple other guys too. Yeah, they're not the same old beloved Queens. And they've already beaten Central Arkansas once this season, so they probably should be laying that number. They beat them by 20 already. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving and grooving here. I want to talk about a couple other games, and I want to make sure you guys are hip to how much I like TCU today on the spread against Texas Tech. And I want Jovan's thoughts again because I couldn't tell how much he hated or liked that angle.
I honestly couldn't even tell you myself, Krabs, because I'm in such a 50-50 divide between heart and head here. My head wants to bet TCU a lot. Heart doesn't because it sticks to the system of fading them in their biggest game of the year because it never goes well. But I don't know. They've got something up their sleeve right now. And it's not just because, they've won 2 straight games off of ridiculously improbable buzzer beaters, but Jamie Dixon is pushing like all the right buttons when it comes to needing points or needing some adjustment from some specific guy. And obviously that's going to be magnified times 20 tonight against the toughest defense you're probably going to see all year, not named Houston. So, I think they stay in the game. There's a lot of magic going on, of course, with D-Bane jersey retirement night. Those do happen to go well whenever it's some massive event circulated around a game. But I will not tell you no. Final answer there.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell side you're on after that, but
no, I'm in a pretzel, Krabs. I'm in an absolute pretzel. There's 50 different things going on in this game right now.
Anybody pick up on that?
I trust the team. I trust Dixon. I trust just looking from
Dixon's
an unbiased
a great coach.
perspective.
He's a great coach, and he's coaching for his fucking life right now, just like Mike Young down in Blacksburg.
I've kind of
Coaching
been
for his
out on
life?
him for a couple of years. I'm not gonna lie. And the
Yeah.
team that he put together this year didn't give me any confidence, and I was right to say that they're awful. But he's been getting them together a little bit lately. I like Alette, I like Reynolds. Some of the freshmen have been playing pretty well too. We're just gonna need to, I don't know, be physical with Texas Tech a little bit. They did a good job for 30 minutes of the first game in doing that, and then it kind of fell apart at the end. The offense went cold, but you're gonna need shots from somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a Jamie Dixon guy, but you're a little more tapped in than I am with this squad down there. I like him. And I think he's been coaching his butt off. And sure, they've had some luck of late.
A lot of it.
Don't get me wrong. They've had some luck. I think that could leak into tonight. Yeah, what's up with Trezarian White? Why are they not playing him, bro?
It's not good. That's why.
Okay. And there it is, folks.
He's a crucial 3-point shooter at times off the bench, but when he was in the starting five, he was the worst defender by a mile. Like, he can't guard a parked car, and he really couldn't do anything getting to the rim. He looked like pork out there for a while, so he's much better coming off the bench in a more limited role.
All right, I'm done with this game. Get it out of here. Get it out. Enough talking about it. Got one more that we have to talk about, Jovan, because I'm starting to get a weird feeling about it.
Let me hear it.
Any idea of what game I'm about to bring up?
Is it a big-time game?
Yeah, there's a ranked team involved.
A ranked team involved? No way you're talking about BYU.
No. We haven't talked about this game yet. It's around the same time as that TCU game. Colorado, Iowa State.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's talk about it. You got Colorado coming off their first conference win of the season. But, Jovan, I'll tell you what, man. I've been watching this team play their last couple games. They've looked much better of late. They've actually covered 3 straight games in a row against 2 of the better teams in the conference, Houston, Kansas. And then obviously that win against UCF, who we know now stinks. They're a little bit overrated. But either way, Colorado playing much better right now than they were playing beginning of the season. Night and day, you could call it. They still have a potential NBA player in Hammonds. They got some talent. And again, a coach who's just, it's pretty clear and simple. He's coaching for his fucking job right now. Because if they don't have a legacy run here at the end of the season, if they don't keep this up, or if they don't win their conference tournament, to be honest with you, that's probably what it's going to come down to. His ass is canned. He's fucking out of here. Okay, Colorado right now, they're playing like it. They're playing like a team that has a coach on the hot seat. They're playing like a team who, is starting to finally figure it out in that locker room, and they finally got their first win of the season. Jovan, no chance Colorado wins 2 games in a row on the road against Iowa State. There's actually no fucking chance, right? There's no way. There's no way Colorado wins 2 games in a row in the conference. Not against Iowa State.
That I kind of agree with you at this stage in the game. I hate that I do.
I don't know, man. I've seen this over the years with moose shit teams in conference who just kind of turn it on at the end of the season when they're coaching for their life. I've seen it with Georgetown over the years. Now I'm seeing it with the Buffs over their last couple games here. They're showing me some life, pulling off that big-time win. Who in the hell wants to go back to them? Everyone who was on them last game is taking their money and they're running and they're not even thinking about going back. Well, I will.
You want to know the best part, Krabs?
I'm still hungry. I want seconds.
You want to know the best part?
What?
Did you take a look to see who Houston has on Saturday? Or who Iowa State has on Saturday?
I'll take a guess and I'll say Houston. How about that?
Going to Houston. So, that's the biggest game of their season, I think, by a wide margin. Going on the road there. So, that's a crazy look-ahead spot, obviously. And to be honest with you, I'm shocked this line isn't bigger because the biggest, I believe, in-conference favorite TCU has been at home was against Colorado because they're moose meat. They were minus 6.5, 7 at close by the end of that game. And obviously, Colorado covered, TCU won the game. But there's only 1 point higher than TCU was getting when they went to Iowa State. And that was when Iowa State was, what did they lose, 3 in a row? And TCU just came off of their miraculous win midweek with Jamie Dixon, like 500th win. So only 1 point difference between TCU and Colorado, I guess, is a little weird considering what we already saw happen and considering that the spot is considerably better than the game against TCU was. So I hate that I agree with you because the Buffs are god awful, but I kind of do.
Yeah, I'm falling in love with this play, to be honest with you. And Vegas Tom, respectfully, Tad Boyle is 100% on the hot seat.
100%, dude.
If you go defeated in a season, I don't give a hoot who you are, unless you're in a handful of those guys of Patino and Calipari. Unless you're in that small cohort of legendary future Hall of Fame coaches, you are on the hot seat 1,000%.
It's also
Your team
just
is
because
atrocious.
just because the university won't fire you doesn't mean you're not on the hot seat too. Because like TCU would never fire Gary Patterson because of all he's done for the school, but they will ask you to leave, and it will be a mutual decision. So that's what he's looking forward to if he doesn't pick it up, not just the end of the season, but he's not going to get fired after the season. He's probably going to get one more minimum, but it's.
Questions are starting to be asked at least. Jesus.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. If this wasn't new blood in the Big 12, he would have a considerably shorter leash, but the leash isn't very long either.
Yeah. Questions are at least starting to be asked. I'm not saying, maybe the AD and coach are having meetings yet or having calls yet, but questions are starting to be asked.
Yeah. And I can tell you once Dion leaves, that's honestly like probably what's saving his job the most, if we're being honest with you. The fact that Dion's there and the whole athletic department gets a boost from that no matter what's happening on the court.
Oh, 100%.
Once that's subsided, if he even makes it that far, it's probably going to bring a pretty tougher spotlight on him, much harsher spotlight. Okay. You're going to see B. Young, the have agreed to part ways, is probably going to be coming pretty soon.
Gottlieb is 1,000% on the hot seat, Richie.
Yeah,
even after a win.
His seat was never cool.
Seat's on fire. Jovan, Okay, yeah. Sure. I mean, never listened to it, never will. Especially after this season. What am I going to learn from him? He can't coach. What am I going to learn from his pop?
Horrendous coach, dude.
Jovan, what if I told you Colorado has not won a game on the road this season?
I mean, yeah, that would make sense because they're a horrendous ball club. Just won their first game at home in the Big 12.
Haven't won a game on the road this entire season.
I mean, I don't think that's breaking today, but I think they can cover.
It could break today. I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to believe in Hammond. I'm starting to believe in the Buffs. I'm not talking about Coach Prime.
Yeah, we know that.
The B-ball team. Yeah, we do know that. Okay. Give me Colorado on the spread. Fade in Iowa State. No chance Colorado gets 2 in a row, and no chance Iowa State, who's starting to heat back up again, is a fraud, right? Well, actually, they're not a fraud, but no chance they lose another game after they're starting to heat up again as we get closer to the tail end of the season. I think there's a chance this game could stay within single digits and be very weird. These road dogs have been treating us pretty well. We have not been leaning into it enough. I'll say it. We need to lean into it more.
I've been trying, Krabs. I've had my fair share of Indianas and Ohio States, but I guess outside of that, not as much.
Happy birthday, Ryan Mountcastle and Jordan Westberg. Okay.
There's no way Westberg's birthday is today, man.
Any thoughts on Butler Xavier tonight in CBB?
No. God, no. Keep me away from that game.
Probably lean Xavier, to be honest with you.
I mean, yeah. Push comes to shove. Fading Butler. I know they've been a little better as of recent, but that's going to come to an end.
We're going to talk about this weird Air Force Wyoming game.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
What you got?
Bet teams are absolute quail shit right now. But Air Force has the best player on the floor in this game, in Ethan Taylor. Wouldn't be surprised if Air Force covers. They're sitting at 3-22. Okay. This team is absolute quail shit. Has not won a game on the road yet this season, but they're catching steam against Wyoming, who's got 4x more wins than them this season. Weird. Why is Air Force? Air Force should always be getting respect. But why are they getting line respect when they haven't won a road game all year, Jovan? Why are they within single digits?
Couldn't tell you, Krabs. Really couldn't.
Adams got picks, has Ethan Taylor as his POD. He is him. I will say.
Yep. Optimizer.
You guys haven't seen Ethan Taylor play. He's a bucket. Don't get me wrong.
He's goated.
Yeah, he's good. I kind of like Air Force there in that spot. They got no business catching steam. And Wyoming is just that bad.
Bad team. couple bad teams, but yeah, Air Force is atrocious. I will tip cap to you on that, Krabs.
All right. Illinois, Wisconsin. I really do like Illinois, guys. I'm probably going to play them. But Jovan, you made it pretty clear. Wisconsin. You've not seen many Wisconsin spread tickets on the feed today. You've seen a lot of Illinois love.
No, there's a lot of Illinois love, 100%. But I mean, it's not to say I'm not with you.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. Nevada, Colorado State. These fucking teams, man. I can't get a read on Nevada this season, I'll be honest with you. I've been impressed by Nick Clifford. I think he's a future NBA player. He's had scouts in the building for multiple games this season. Colorado State, I don't know what it is about this team, man, but I feel like they're one of those squads where they do the opposite of what they should be doing in sharp spots. Now, they have already beaten this team once earlier this year by 2 in a very, very close game outright on the road. They won. So it's probably Nevada here to get their lick back down from 4.5 to 3.5. But I really have not had any success betting Nevada this entire season, Jovan, and I'm not trying to start today on the road against Colorado State.
Yeah, agreed. And really, the thing that makes Nevada so frustrating is their entire, like, as good as Sanders is, like, really what comes down to covering and winning for Nevada is if Nick Davidson is just unstoppable in a game. And in that game they lost first time around, I believe. That was one of the games where he got in foul trouble. Not that he had a terrible game, but he fouled out of that game. And that's really tough to overcome when you're a Nevada team, especially when you got Nick Clifford on the other side there. So I don't really know what to do with it. Probably lean Colorado State, but would never get to the counter.
Any thoughts on Houston and Arizona State?
Yeah. Kind of think this is a classic Houston muck job, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. I think they
Arizona State has been
dominate.
Really?
Yeah. I think this is the death blow. They're kind of hanging around. Like, they had a really good game against Texas Tech last time out when they went on the road, and they played the game against TCU. I don't know how TCU won that game, maybe just because Arizona State was gassed, but they were letting TCU do work on the inside. So I think this is where the wheels fall off, to be honest with you. And speaking of squares, I guess, I can't see squares, but if we got some Juwan Roberts up and moving, I would not be mad.
Take a peek. He's up for 13.5 points after a couple mid games, 6 rebounds after a couple mid games, 1.5 assist square. That's green as ma. Probably avoid that one.
Yeah, avoid that. But
kind of weird. Maybe it's points and rebounds.
Yeah, I would say I would focus on the boards more than anything. TCU got every rebound they wanted to in that game. Like, the leading rebounder was Vashon Alette, so like that doesn't apply to this necessarily, but Punch and Uday, when they're in their solo, put a body on every defender with ease. And I think they each got 6 or 7 themselves individually. It's like, I think Juwan is going to dominate.
Would you take his more than 20.5 points and rebounds combo? Or would you just take his 6 rebounds?
Yeah. Siev, no fantasy score is so soft, dude.
Yeah, no fantasy score.
No fantasy score soft. You just go PR.
Okay. All right. Check LJ Cryer threes. Happy to take a peep at that.
Yeah, we got these interesting 3 squares up there, Goots.
Green is ma for LJ Cryer.
Mamaraki with 10 whalers.
No way we got a 10-unit sub whale from Mamaraki. Let's fucking go.
Go.
Again. Let's go. Racky bang. Come on. Let's go, Matt. Did you just get blessed up, Matt? You're already subbed. Sure. God, 10 subbies. Let's fucking go. Such a W. Can we get some W's in the chat for Mamaraki, please? Such a goat. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Jovan, I don't know. I didn't notice any weird 3 squares up on the board for CBB, but Goot's got them pulled up right now. Yeah, I didn't notice anything that weird. JJ Starling.
Adam Miller, green as mall. Or is that Alston Mason?
Alston Mason, green as well.
I saw AM. It's pretty blurry.
Yeah. Alston Mason. They got a Toby Lawal 3-square up there after he hit 2 against UVA.
Dude, I swear that shit turns green instantly every time that's up. It's unbelievable.
Future NBA player right there.
Yeah.
He is.
In what universe, Krabs?
Bro, he's so athletic. I'm telling you, dude. Toby Lawal. You will see him in the league, folks. Got a weird feeling.
League? Argentine? Like Argentine League?
National Basketball Association.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Goodine is there from B. Joe Higgy. Okay. All right. Any South Carolina LSU squares? I don't know if I have any in that game. Take a peep real quick. Do you have thoughts on that game, Jovan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep going to the well, fading South Carolina because they've been really bad. I just don't know how they stop LSU today. Like, I mean, defense is supposed to be their bread and butter, is supposed to be physical. That hasn't been the case really at all as of late. And I know they've faced some really good offenses like Florida, Kentucky. I even classify Texas A&M as a good one for them because they're a tough matchup. But I mean, it's been leaky. I don't think it's stopping anytime soon. So, I mean, I like LSU. Not going to take it because, I mean, they're coming off of, not that winning at Oklahoma is incredibly impressive, but was a win as a pretty decent-sized dog because Oklahoma always gets respect in Norman. So, I'll tip cap to that.
Esther likes Boyles. I kind of like Nick Pringle in this game. He's been heating up for South Carolina of late. He's only up for 8.5 points. Haven't heard that name in a while, right?
I mean, yeah. Really only hear Colin Murray Boyles any often from South Carolina.
Yeah, they got a bunch of squares up for him as well. He's up for 15.5 points, 25.5 PRA. I kind of like Nick Pringle today after a couple good games. Didn't he? What did he transfer in from Arkansas?
From Bama, no?
It might have been Bama. Bama. Good call. I knew it was SEC.
Yeah, same colors.
Yeah. He's averaging 9 points per game this season. He's up there for 8.5 points. Wouldn't mind Nick Pringle against LSU. I kind of lean the Gamecocks, but probably not going to get there.
Sure.
Pretty popular play today. Okay. Sure. All right, chat. We got about 10 minutes. Want to make sure we got all of our bases covered here in CBB. Jovan, any thoughts on Seton Hall Marquettes?
No. Marquette sucks. I'm good. Seton Hall's like, it's a classic fade spot because they're coming off of that incredible win, but I have zero impetus to bet on any big favorites like that, especially when it's another fraudulent one in Marquette.
All right. And then late night game tonight, Fresno, San Diego State. San Diego State laying 19.5 points. Jesus.
Yeah, see,
Fresno.
If San Diego State didn't have a big time look ahead spot at their own, I would be 100% betting on them. They do have they take a trip to Boone and playing Utah State on Saturday. I believe
that's gonna be a great game.
But, yeah, great game. But I mean, Fresno State just had their legacy performance where they almost won, super shorthanded right now. So they're having different guys have to step up. They're probably losing by 25-30 today, but can't do it with the Utah State game looming.
I kind of like Fresno, I'm not going to lie, but as a boatload of points.
A lot of points.
Boatload of points. A lot of questions about Kansas versus BYU, so we'll circle back to that real quick, and then we'll get to the squad rides. Jovan is on the under, right? That was on the Sharp Report, I believe.
BYU.
The under in this BYU Kansas game. Yep.
Yeah.
And you think that probably correlates with BYU?
Yeah, I mean, I like BYU. It's my own way, I guess, of playing BYU with some added protection of, I think Kansas's defense is also going to give them problems. So, yeah, pretty much.
Wow. We got Mom Reiki coming in hot, saying hit him up on X if you want a Bookit hat, same handle. Are they blessing up, giving out some Bookit hats?
So he's dropping belly nuggets in chat too.
We only have a couple Bookit hats left too, guys. So if you want to cop one, I'm happy to drop the link here. I got it right here. If you guys want to cop a Bookit hat, Only a couple styles left. Green sold out. Yeah, that's the freshest one, I think. Here's a link. And guys, remember, if you post a selfie under the Bookit pin tweet right now, it's a video Mikey Overs telling you guys to fucking lock in pretty much. If you post a selfie wearing your Bookit scripted hat that you just got, and we'll give you guys plenty of time. If you order it today, it'll probably come in, early next week. We'll give you plenty of time for this. We're going to go through all the mentions and put $200 in all your guys' accounts on PrizePicks. Okay, cannot be an easier way to get PrizePicks promo in your account. Get involved and shout out Trent, because without him, we wouldn't be able to do this. Please cop a hat. They're not that expensive, and you're getting $200 of PrizePicks promo out of this puppy. The link is in the chat. Get involved. Do it before you forget. Yep, Vegas Tom. Unless there's a million people that come out of the woodworks that we're not expecting, you're all getting it, and we're not close to our limit yet. So get involved. Looks like Gabe Rod did his yesterday. Guys, it cannot be easier. I know it sounds sketchy. It's almost like too easy to get $200 promo coins. It's that simple. Cop a Bookit scripted hat. The link is in the chat. Only a couple left. All right, take a selfie, post it under the pinned tweet on Bookit. Next thing you know, we're hitting you up saying, what's your email and your PrizePicks account? Because we're putting $200 in there. All right, get involved. Trent. Jovan, it's about that time. Why don't we spend the last 10 minutes here on the squad ride?
Sure.
Gootsy, run that shit. Flatwood's coming in with some bits here. I love how during college pro football, y'all have meat sheets for us, overs, unders, meat on tape. Can we get those going for college basketball Saturdays? That's not a bad idea, Flatwoods.
Yeah.
It's not a
the
bad
tough
idea.
part is just we do the spaces, and I feel like a lot of our plays come from there. So by the time we would get the by the time we would have all our angles and plays locked in, it would kind of be too late for a graphic. That's what makes it tough.
B. Murphy in chat, what color do you recommend? I like the green, but it's sold out. I'd probably go blue since there's no green now. So if you want to get involved, the link is in the chat. I'll drop it one more time. The blue one is fresh. Here's a link in the Twitch chat. Hat bought. We got a couple people copping some hats right now. Get involved.
W.
All right, hop on the train. Appreciate you, Flatwoods. You're a beast. Blue is the one I got. W, hey, I'm Matt. You got good style, my man. Got good style. All right. And Big Rob coming in, resubbing. Let's see that damn train, Goots. W, Big Rob. Appreciate you, my man. What we really need to bring back is King of the Boards. I know we need baseball back for that, probably, William. But once baseball's back and we'll have the end of CBB, we might be able to do something. We might be able to do some King of the Boards. Okay? What's the fucking squad ride options? Let me run through these. All right, Shady B, you ready? Let's get to it, gents. I'm looking at our plays, Jovan. I don't know if I can put head on pillow and rest peacefully tonight if TCU is not involved. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say take action with that one. If TCU hits, and I'm vetoing that one, not because I hate to play, but just because I'm so torn on it. I wouldn't be able to put head on pillow either.
So you don't want it in?
No, I do.
Okay. We'll put it in. TCU, I think they're 6.5 now, consensus. I'm going to check the Carfax. Want to make sure we give you guys the best lines we possibly can at the time of the squad ride poll. And yeah, I'm seeing all 6.5s. Okay. Let's lock that fucker in, huh?
Sure.
I'm feeling good about your frogs today, Jovan.
Go.
What about your plays? What are you liking the most?
I don't know, dude. I'm so torn. I like a couple of them quite a bit. Obviously, Lipscomb is top of mind. Aggies are top of mind. I think there's some plays that we didn't talk about too that did talk about off of the report too that I'd be willing to take in too.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say looking at your plays, I'd probably go in the order that you put them in there, and I'm hoping that's the level you put the confidence in, Wise.
Yeah.
I'd say probably Lipscomb, laying that relatively big number on the road there against a team that they've already lost to once this season. Definitely is looking at me funny, and I'm hoping you got some confidence to put Lipscomb in this spot.
I do.
Okay. Lipscomb. Sure. -4.5, I believe, is what they're sitting at. Yep. Sure. All right, chat. What else you guys like? Illinois not being in the squad ride is catastrophic. I like Illinois. We got to do some work here, though, Shady Beef, because I don't know if I can sell Jovan on it.
You can sell me on it. You can sell me on it. That's one of the popular ones today that I don't have too much of an issue with. Trey Lipscomb squad ride.
Dude, I saw Trey Lipscomb about a month ago when I was doing some, it might have been like 2 months ago. Jeez. It was like right before Christmas. I was doing some Christmas shopping. I went into Aloe, which is like like Lululemon chick store to get a gift card.
I'm familiar, Krabs.
Yeah, and I see Lipscomb in there. And I was
hours in there.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck, dude? And the guy checking him out was like so hype. He's like, oh my God, you're on the Nats, right? And he made like this huge big deal out of it when we're all online. And I was like, damn, I was about to go up to him and try to get a selfie, but this guy just ruined it. Trey Lipscomb wanted nothing to do with it either. Didn't want to talk to the guy, but could be a sign. Yes, Falls legends. Trey Lipscomb is probably going to be in AAA to start out this season. But yeah, I'm thinking we put Lipscomb in this puppy. I'm thinking we put Illinois in this puppy. +4.
Now, what if we fade the Hokies?
I don't know about that one. Nothing good can come out of that. Nothing good's coming out of that.
Green could come out of that.
It could. I feel like that's asking for trouble now.
Could be.
I feel like that's asking for trouble. I want to spend some time scrolling through the CBB board here, though, because there were a couple plays that we got kind of hip to that I feel like we weren't really expected to coming into the show today to fall in love with. But some interesting angles that we talked about today. I want to make sure we have all of our bases covered here. Oklahoma, Colorado. I mean, I fell in love with today during the show. I wouldn't mind putting them in here.
I like it. I don't know that I like it that much.
All right. Trying to see how much I can get out of Jovan today, folks. Not that much. We're not getting Colorado. I might be down to just run these 3.
Maybe that's it.
I'm looking at your Kansas BYU under. Both teams are coming in off of unders. It's kind of sketching me out.
I mean, yeah, Kansas under. That's why I didn't bring it up. Kansas under is not your type of wager.
Okay. Anything else in chat you guys fell in love with today when we were talking about plays and winners? Let me know. Now's the time. Last call. Anything you guys are in love with today that you want us to take another peep at? Dead Larry Bird, I respect you, my man, but I don't know if I could put Buffalo in here, meat on tape. Not feeling that confident. I will definitely take a peep at that, though.
Yeah, there could be a sneak out of the card later.
Hey, Matt says, I love the Cubs today. Okay. Aggies, Marquettes, Judge over home runs. All right. Why don't we run with these 3 plays?
That's first 5.
3 plays, 3 winners. We'll go TCU +6.5, my favorite play. We'll go Lipscomb -4.5, Jovan's favorite play. We'll go Illinois +4 on the road. Nasty dog fading the red-hot Wisconsin Badgers. 3 plays, 3 winners, chat.
We only have one option here, Krabs.
I'm voting for the Frogs.
It has to be at this point.
That's my favorite play today. Chat, please vote for the best play you heard us talk about today. The play that might not be in the primetime slot, might not be your favorite sport, although these are all college basketball today. Pick the play you know is turning green in your gut. Okay, not the play that makes the most sense, not the play that is your alumni school or in the conference that you like following the most. Pick the best sell job you heard today, please. Please. All right, get involved. 3 plays, 3 winners. All right, you got about 2 minutes left to get your vote in here. 3 plays, 3 winners. TCU +6.5, Lipscomb -4.5, and we've got Illinois +4 on the road. 3 plays, 3 winners. Okay. And Gore Fantasy Score fully read it out. Sure. W Fat Girls. Yep. Cannot wait. Only a couple weeks out. I feel Houston deserved the spot. I don't know if they did, Rich.
They might.
I don't know if they did.
They might have.
Damn, Frogs running away with it. But Lipscomb trying to make a comeback here. After that Trey Lipscomb story. Really inspiring some people in chat to get involved. Sure. Chat, 3 plays, 3 winners. Ends up getting rocked by the D-backs. I remember Trent being extra pissed off about that Mackenzie Gore backing.
That was all time. I do remember that.
Chat, 3 plays, 3 winners. Lock in. You got about 10 seconds left. It's going to be the Frogs. All right. Back in the red-hot Frogs who've had luck on their side. Let's hope we can squeak another W out with TCU here at home, getting 6.5 points down from 7.5 against a top 10 ranked Texas Tech team. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Frogs at home. They get it done. Back in a Let and Co. Jovan, I feel good about it.
Feel great. I would so be there if I was there.
All right. And James Wood just hit his first nuke of the season, 383 feet. Sure.
Jeez.
I'm already having my Yankee buddies locking in on the books. Not even prize picks, but on the books. Straight bets. James Wood fades. On his home runs. Swear to God. I'm already getting texts.
You need to find some friends, Krabs, that are more recent.
Already getting texts. It's for all the Aaron Judge fades. They're trying to fade my guy now. And I'll tell you right now, fading James Wood home runs might be the number one most moose shit bet of the season. I'll tell you right now. Because that dude's about to go nuclear.
Speaking
he's about to start elevating some baseballs.
MLB, did Trent decide to get up and moving today, or is he soft as butter?
I don't know. James Wood hitting his total by All-Star break. I'm telling you guys, James Wood 40 piece. James Wood 40 piece. Carrying the Nats to a wild card spot. I've already seen it. All right, W squad ride poll. We got the Froggies tonight. Sure. That could be what turns the squad ride around, Jovan. And the Nats just signed his Drupal Cabrera to a 12-year max. Okay. People forget he was actually on the team a couple years ago. Sure.
Hey, it was.
He was swaggy as well.
You could probably say that about 90% of the league.
Yeah. Before we go, best square on the boards. My favorite one's Josh Hubbard more than points today. That guy's an NBA player, and he's going to tweak.
Yeah.
Ron, you have a square you came across, or?
Yeah, I mean, I like Juwan Roberts, PR. I can't see the whole board, so I'm just going off of what I saw while we were on here. But I think he's going to dominate the Sun Devils today. GG Rev.
I like that one from you. Juwan Roberts, more than points and rebounds, right?
Yeah.
I believe it was 20.5. Yep. Okay. W stream today, chat. Can you guys do me a favor? Can we all responsibly tail TCU tonight, meet at the cash counter? Okay, we need a fucking W more than we need oxygen. And I got a feeling tonight the gambling gods are going to reward us with a squad ride W. Okay? We'll meet you guys at the cash counter and go ahead and sneak fade Eddie Lampkin rebounds on prize picks after his legacy games. I'll go ahead and sneak that one in there too. Chat, we'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Do me a favor. As we wrap up here, I'm going to drop this Bookit questionnaire one more time, this Google form. If you got some time this afternoon, if you care about what we're building over here and want to let us know how to improve, what more you guys want to see, fill out this Bookit questionnaire in the Twitch chat. Please get involved. All right? And yes, Coop Eagle on Desmond Bay night. We'll meet you guys at the cash counter. Okay? Could be the difference. W's.